Alright, what's going on everybody? So if you clicked on this video, most likely you are very familiar with the Nike Cortez and is wondering why the Corsairs are so similar, and you want to know the differences between the two. Well, in the video I'll cover 3 things. 1 is a brief history, 2 physical differences, 3 comfort, and 4th quality. So let's get into it. So firstly, I don't want to dig too deep into the history, otherwise this video will be too long, but it's still quite important when looking at these two shoes to know why they are so similar. Both these sneakers derive, and it's pretty much an upgrade of this shoe, the Mexico 66. Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight, around 50 years ago, was distributing the Mexico 66 in the US and had a good relationship with Onitsuka. And I believe Bowerman was the one that designed and proposed the idea of the Corsairs, or Cortez, to Onitsuka. Basically, that's how the shoe was made, It was Bowerman's creation for Onitsuka to produce. And the issue was, Bowerman and Knight started creating Nike, the brand we all know and love, and pretty much remake the shoe with the swoosh behind Onitsuka's back. So once they found out, a lot of stuff happened, but the brand basically split up. Both owns the rights to the design of the Corsairs, or rather, it was called the Cortez when it was first designed. Nike got the rights to the name, so Onitsuka had to rename their sneaker. Onitsuka got the Corsairs and Nike got the Cortez. So that was a little history lesson for y'all. So now we're gonna move on to design. Now getting into the design, these sneakers are very similar to one another. Most of the paneling are the same, but they are slightly different in shape. Starting from the side, apart from the brand logo, the stitchings are different between the two. Although the stitching is different, it is not something anyone will take note of once they're on your foot. The Corsairs utilizes one panel for the heel piece, while the Cortez is separated into 2, with a top piece reserved for the brand name. The Cortez uses full nylon on the front of the tongue with mesh in the back, while the Corsairs uses a combination of nylon, mesh, and leather on top of the tongue. The midsole and outsole are almost identical apart from the branding between the two sneakers. Note that the red piece here on the midsole of the Cortez also exists on the Corsairs. My pair just has the monotone midsole, so you can't see it until you look closely. Now the toe area is where you see the main difference in the appearance of the sneakers. The top piece is a lot wider on the Cortez as it wraps around your toe all the way to the midsole. The Corsair uses a much slimmer design. However, they also utilize an additional rubber piece that goes horizontal to your toe cap, which I'm personally a huge fan of, as it provides extra support if you're one of those people like me that likes to nudge things with your toe. So if you're asking if there's any differences in the way the sneakers fit, before I answer that, I want to say that this Cortez and this Corsairs are the only pair of either models I had ever owned. So I can only answer based off these 2 pairs. If the production of this pair of Cortez is different than other models, and likewise with this Cortez, I wouldn't really know. I am a slightly wide footer. I find that the Cortez runs smaller around the toe area than the Corsairs. It doesn't hurt my feet or anything, most likely because of the nylon material, but it's a really snug fit. Alright guys, pause. So this is actually untrue. I've only realized this during the on feet for the video, but actually it felt that way because I have to tie the Cortez when wearing it a lot tighter than the Corsairs. This is because the rubber or leather piece in the back of the Corsairs actually does keep my feet in place. So when I do a loose tie on the Corsairs, my feet doesn't really go anywhere, as opposed to the Cortez where it uses traditional mesh. I can't have a loose tie with my Cortez because otherwise it's going to flop all over the place. Now that I paid closer attention, the Corsairs actually runs smaller than the Cortez on the toe area. But I'm going to keep that clip in the video and not edit out because I feel that it really goes to show how similar these two sneakers really are, that I get them confused from memory in terms of fitting. Anyways, let's get back to the video. I also feel like I have to use my micro muscles to balance the sneaker as the width of the outsole is so thin. So once I put my feet in, it stretches too far out on both sides and overlap the width of the outsole. My feet also overlaps with the Corsairs, however I don't really feel the discomfort that I do feel with the Cortez. The Corsairs feels normal to the ground, but with the Cortez, my feet keeps reminding me how thin that outsole is. The only major discomfort I get with the Corsairs is the rubber or leather lining. I'm not actually sure what it's made of. But yeah, if you were to exercise with them in thin socks, they will rub your ankle quite a bit. But for casual wear, whereas you don't lace your sneaker as tight, it never once bothered me. I recommend if you're a wide footer and you have the chance, is for you to try both pairs in stores before making a purchase, as you may want to go half a size up. Both sneakers fit real tight, but the Corsair definitely has a better fit than the Cortez. So the final and most important point I want to touch on is quality. See, between these two sneakers, obviously my Corsairs uses better quality than the Cortez. But I'm not just specifically talking about these two pairs. I do find that overall, the Corsairs tend to look more premium than the Cortez. I think a lot of it is due to the fact that the Corsairs tends to release with a leather tongue, while most Cortez release with a nylon tongue. Also, most Corsairs utilizes full leather on the upper, while the Cortez likes to split between using full leather or nylon/suede upper, with this pair being one of them. Frankly, I'm not a fan of the nylon uppers. It offers very little support, as well as making the sneaker look physically flimsy, even when on foot. With the Corsairs being one of Onitsuka's brand flagship sneakers, I see that they take care of the model way more than Nike does with the Cortez. I feel that many of the Cortez released from Nike are just there on the shelf as their way of making side money while they jerk off to Travis Scott. With that, I want to talk about something I really love on Onitsuka sides real quick, and that's the Nippon made models. If you guys didn't know, Onitsuka's Nippon made are sneakers produced by Onitsuka, produced in Japan rather than mass producing overseas. This means that the sneakers are produced in lower quantity, are more expensive, but most importantly, higher quality. They don't make every model and every color all year round, but if you do find a Nippon made Corsairs, 10 out of 10, that's what I recommend. This Mexico 66 right here is Nippon made, and the quality is top notch. That's why I wear them as beaters, because I see them being made to last. So I got these in Japan at their flagship store at Shibuya a few years ago. But if you don't live in Japan, you can visit the official Onitsuka's website as well. Just look up Nippon made and see what models they have available. So at the time of making this video, I do not see any Corsairs, but I do see the Limerups, which is a similar sneaker. $240 for a pair of Nippon made, I think it's worth more than buying 2 or 3 pairs of a mass-produced Cortez in my opinion. I'm not trying to do promotion for the Onitsuka Tiger brand. My main point with telling you guys that is that Onitsuka produce high quality pairs of Corsairs from time to time, whereas Nike, more likely than not, will never produce a pair of Cortez in that same quality. So in conclusion, what sneaker do I like better? 100% the Corsairs, man. Onitsuka is killing it right now with the quality game. And to add on, I got 2 words. Uma Thurman. Even though she's wearing the Tai Chis, but it's yet another model that resembles the Corsairs. Thank you for watching the video and have an awesome day.